Hello, and welcome back to Women for Wealth. So, this weekend is July 4th weekend, and a lot of you are probably like us. You're looking at vacations. And aren't vacations so much more fun when you're not worried about money? You've got flights, hotels, Ubers, food, $18 poolside cocktails. Those add up fast. And suddenly, when you're supposed to have a relaxing getaway, it feels like a swipe fest to your credit card, and you start worrying about the bills and how are you going to pay the card when you get back. You come home, you've got a sunburn, you've got an inbox full of work emails, a brand new pile of debt. That is not refreshing. That is not relaxing. So, the good news is it doesn't have to be that way. So, I'm going to share some ideas and simple ways to save money while on vacation without missing out on the fun. So, whether you're going to the beach, the mountains, a brand new city, or if you're going overseas, let's stretch your dollars and come home feeling good financially and emotionally. So, let's dive in. Tip number one, plan your meals ahead of time. We've all been there. You've got a full day out. Let's say you're at the beach and you've been playing in the ocean and jumping waves and you're tired and you are starving. You are so hungry. In that moment, you're going to tend to just, want to go to the bar and grill or to a restaurant or, the walk up beach shack. And you're going to want to order some food. But pretty quickly, ordering food and eating out can blow your budget. So do a little research before you go on your trip. So find some budget friendly spots to go out and eat because let's face it, nobody wants to cook the whole time you're on vacation. But you can Google Maps some good places to eat that are cheaper, that are really good, and go local, go small business, go mom and pop. You can also go grocery shopping. So one of the things that we used to do is I would grocery shop the first day we got there. I would get quick, simple things for breakfast, instant grits, Eggos, things like that, that the kids could fix themselves when they woke up in the morning. Quick, simple, easy, cheap. And no, it's not the most healthy, but when you're on vacation, you're not on your diet anyway. So, you know, don't get stressed out about, well, I have to have a fruit bowl. No, you don't. No, you don't. Quick, simple, cheap, easy. Buy it from the grocery store. Make it where everybody can make their own individual meals. So you're not having to cook. We have a family of six. It's me, my husband, and we've got four kids. Nobody wants to be slaving in the kitchen, cooking for a whole family when you're on vacation. So get quick, simple things that are easy, instant meals from the grocery store. That is going to be a lot cheaper than, when you're starving, just going to the local restaurant or the restaurant in the hotel. I mean, let's face it, hotel restaurants mark their food up about 40%. So what you could have gone to the grocery store and bought that food for is about 40% more expensive when you go to a hotel restaurant. So just think of that. Also, reusable water bottles and some snacks, that goes a long way. If you're out on the beach, if you're out on the boat, wherever you're at, you don't want to get hungry and angry. You want to be able to snack a little bit as you go. So pack some reusable water bottles and some snacks. I used to actually have what I called my snack purse. So I had my everyday purse and then I had my snack purse. My snack purse was huge. And we would go to, the Dollar Tree or the Family Dollar, the General Dollar, one of those smaller stores that's just cheap. And we would load up on candy and things like that. And I would put it in my snack purse. And then we would take that oftentimes when we went to the movies. Because let me tell you, if you go to the concession stand at a movie theater, it's going to be twice the price. Get you a snack purse. Throw a couple of reusable water bottles in there. Get you some cheap snacks from the Dollar Tree or the Family Dollar, the Dollar General. And, do that instead of hitting the concession stand when you go to the movies. Just getting creative and a little bit of pre-planning goes a long way. The second tip is if you're in a city that's got it, use public transportation. Buses, subway, rental bikes, those can actually be a lot of fun and it can be a lot cheaper than Uber or Lyft, or especially renting. I mean, if you go to Hertz or someplace like that and rent, you're going to be paying the rental daily. You're going to be paying for the gas. and it adds up in a hurry. And if you get a rental car, you better refill the tank before you take it and turn it in. Because if you don't, they charge you about twice for the gallon of gas that they put in it. So just make sure you fill it up. But using, mass transit can be a lot of fun. We went to Montreal, Canada years and years and years ago. And our youngest son was, I think, 9 at the time, and he loved the underground city and the subway. He had so much fun. He absolutely loved getting on it, and he figured out how to do it all by himself. Now, we were in another country where they didn't all speak English. He was, I think, 9 at the time. So I was not going to let the kid go out by himself and ride the subway and just, go somewhere by himself. But honestly, he could have. The train system in Montreal was very safe and very clean. But the main thing is you can discover neighborhoods that you wouldn't have found, otherwise. Because when you're just driving in the backseat of an Uber, you drive past stuff, you might not even see something. But when you're on a subway, especially when there's an accident, when you get off on the wrong stop, which we've all done that. I've done that. You get off on the wrong stop of the subway, and then you discover a new neighborhood. You might discover a really cool place, really awesome place, and you get some steps in because you got to walk to wherever you were really going when you got off one stop too early. Another thing is turn budgeting into a game. So set a daily spending limit and challenge yourself to stick to it. Challenge your family, challenge your kids, tell the kids, hey, see who can find the best meal for under $10. Can you get a killer souvenir for under $5? Something that you will not just remember the visit or the trip or the vacation, but you'll remember, hey, there was a challenge and I got this really cool souvenir, and it's going to remind you of that challenge, and it's going to remind you of the positive time your family spent, gaming together over, okay, who can challenge each other to get the best souvenir or the best meal or the best whatever, but focus on the budgeting aspect of it. So there's ways to track your spending as you do it. One of the things that was recommended recently that I heard that I thought was a great idea, use a vacation budgeting app. The idea actually came from the Dave Ramsey crew, but they were talking about budgeting for a marriage. If you're going to get married, you might need a separate budgeting app just for that. Well, you can do the same thing with your vacation. Have a separate budget app just for your vacation. Track your spending, turn it into a mini competition for yourself. Make it fun. The fourth item, look for freebies and make new memories. Memories oftentimes comes from experiences, not from things. So don't focus on buying things, focus on the experience. You don't have to spend a lot of money to have fun. Great things that you can do when you're on vacation is local concerts in the park. A lot of places, especially this weekend, they're going to have live music. There are several museums that are no admission fees. I know in North Carolina, all of their museums are free. A lot of the hotels have free yoga, so you can do free yoga. There are comedy shows that you can go to. A lot of those are often free because the comedian will get a percentage of the bar. So you can actually get in for free and see a comedy show for free. Walking tours, go on a walking tour, get your steps in, get to see and experience some of these different neighborhoods, get to really, learn about some of the history in the area. A lot of these cities have free walking tours on the phone. So you can actually go to a website, click on a link, it'll take you to a feed, and it will give you a walking tour history tour. And it's free. You just look it up on your phone, cut it on, put your headphones in, put your earbuds in. Hopefully you won't use the speaker on your phone because I that's just a pet peeve of mine when people use the speaker in public. Unforgettable moments don't cost a dime. Another thing you can do that I thought about doing recently is volunteering. So I love animals. We have 4 dogs. I love them all. And I donate to local rescues. And one of the trips we had taken not too long ago, I told my husband, I said, we've got an extra day. It's going to be raining. What do you think about going and volunteering at the local animal shelter? He told me no, but not for why you think. He told me no, not because it wouldn't be a great experience, because it would have been, but because he knows how I am, and I would probably have come home with another dog. So, look at volunteering. You can oftentimes volunteer whatever you're into. If you're into gardens, you can volunteer at the local garden and, do some weeding. Weeding is a great way to just kind of zone out and get into a rhythm, and it can really de stress you. I garden for my stress therapy. I used to say that gardening was cheaper than therapy, but I'll be honest with you now, I don't think it is. Everything with gardening has gotten so expensive post pandemic that gardening can be very expensive. I still do it very frugally. I find cheap ways to garden, but yeah, gardening can be expensive now, but it is definitely a great way to de stress and just kind of zone out for a little bit. Tip number 5. So, if you're traveling overseas, you want to get rid of the foreign transaction fees. So call your credit card company and make sure they have no foreign transaction fees so that you can use your credit card and not pay a 3% charge, which is usually what they charge. If you don't call and ask for free foreign transactions, you're going to be paying 3% per transaction. Also, skip airport currency exchanges. Go to your bank ahead of time and order cash from them. It's way cheaper than airport values, which can be very, very expensive and very high. So, yeah, talk to your local bank, order some currency, do your exchange at your bank. Most banks will do this for free. If you do the airport currency exchange, it is very high fee, very expensive. So do it ahead of time. Again, planning will save you a lot of money. Doing stuff ahead of time will save you a lot of money. Anytime you do anything spur of the moment, you're probably going to pay way more than you should have. I want you to enjoy your vacation. I want you to really be able to, and also, I know this is a, wealth video and it's how to save money when you're on vacation. But I want you to save and budget so that you can do the splurges that are important to you. So if you have a budget for your vacation and you've already included and planned for little splurges, there's no guilt. You can actually just relax and enjoy it. So if you're somebody that loves going to fancy restaurants, save up some money ahead of time, put it in your budget and include that and say, you know what? I'm a foodie. I'm going to go on this vacation. I want to go to a 5-star restaurant. That's my thing. Do it and do it without regret. Do it without shame. Do it without feeling bad. As long as you plan for it, budget for it, and save for it ahead of time, you've earned it. Do it. Enjoy life. I want you to live a wealthy life today, tomorrow, and forever. Kevin somebody, Mr. Wonderful, he's on Shark Tank. Anyway, he said the key to being rich and having wealth is discipline. You have to be disciplined. And I agree with his statement. I think discipline is the key. So I want you to go on your vacation. I want you to have a great time, but I want you to enjoy it and have fun. I don't want you to worry about your money. So plan, be disciplined, and try some of these ideas. If somebody else has ideas, please leave them in the comments below. If you've done something that works for you, please leave in the comments below for someone else, because this is really a community about sharing and helping each other. We all want to live a wealthy life. So until next time, I wish you health and wealth.